In this video, let's talk about where to fish and what to throw in the early morning during summer. Now, I know there's all different kinds of ponds out there, but many involve covers such as this one here. I love fishing first thing in the morning, especially in the summertime. Everything is just cooler, it's low light, it's just usually quiet, minus the great sounds of nature, and the bass are out roaming and looking for food. At least we hope so. This time of day, I focus on everything shallow, like 7 foot or less, but mostly as shallow as I can get away with. Whether it's grass beds, laydowns, scattered lily pads, it's all in play. I also have a tip with a certain scenario I'll share in a moment. If the pond's water level is about normal, or even better, a little higher than normal, especially if it came up recently, this is when I will see if they're right up against the shoreline, and I mean within a foot of it. Any new submerged cover is worth throwing at. Bass love rising water and will get up in the newest submerged area for any new food that's been forced underwater. If I do get multiple bites up tight to shore, it's hard for me to do much else for as long as that bite stays active. Now, if they're not up tight, I would try the next set of cover closest to the shore, whether that's grass beds or lily pads, and fish all around them. You know those certain spots that you say to yourself, there's just no way there aren't any bass here? When you have that thought, take multiple casts, and sometimes more importantly, at multiple angles. Bass can be in a weird mood where they won't hit your bait unless it's coming from a certain direction. It's wild, but it happens. And for that tip that I mentioned, if they're up tight to the shore and you have any stretch of shoreline with any kind of a gap between it and the start of either some thicker grass or lily pads, fish as much of this lane as you can. For whatever reason, bass seem to love to be in it. Now, I don't know about you, but more often than not, this is me the night before I'm going fishing in the morning. Even if it's the same pond I've fished 1,000 times before, it can last a couple of hours where I know I'm only rigging 3 rods. So I'm like, how am I going to pick 3 baits to tie on to start with? Now I'm curious. Drop a comment if you go through this too. Anyways, for baits, it's low light, bass are cruising the shallows, so my first thought goes to top water. And in my experience, you shouldn't have to worry about using subtle baits while they're on the hunt. This is especially true if your pond's water level has in fact risen recently from a rainstorm or a couple of days of rain, and your shallows are now a bit dirtied up. In this exact scenario, for top water, I will throw a buzz bait or a whopper plopper and just chuck and wind it, or try an evergreen shower blows. If they can't seem to hit it though with any accuracy, then I'll throw a chatterbait or a spinnerbait and pump the reel handle on my retrieve to make more of a commotion. If there's a bunch of new cover in the water now, like brush and stumps or whatever from the water coming up, then throwing a spinnerbait or a swim jig with a paddle tail swim bait for a trailer right in this stuff is ideal. I wasn't even really planning on talking about higher water levels when I had this video idea, but having said that, if the opposite is true, if your pond is lower than usual and it happened recently, bass don't like that very much. Just imagine your walls closing in on you. You'd probably go towards the center of the room, right? Bass do the same thing. They get away from the shore and they'll often suspend out offshore, sometimes only as far as the next drop off. In this case, I'll throw smaller swim baits and square bills, but I won't be fishing them super aggressive. I feel like they're already more weary of their surroundings, so I try to go easy with the baits and it just works sometimes. These fish are more tough for me to catch though, for sure. Now, if the pond is low and has been low for an extended period of time, they'll eventually return to a more normal behavior. Okay, now if none of that water level stuff applies, and I know I'm starting up tight to the shoreline, then I'm going to start with some type of a walking bait, like I mentioned before, this evergreen shower blows, a frog, probably a popping frog like this Spro, or a Teckle sprinkler frog for fishing through any shoreline cover. If you're not familiar with this one, this boot tail here spins on the surface and is basically a weedless whopper plopper, which is also something I would throw in this situation. With the whopper plopper, start with a straight retrieve. If nothing's doing, try a stop and go. Most of these baits can carry over to the scattered pads and grass beds as well, where in addition to all of those, I would also throw a wake bait like this Megabass Eye Loud or a big bait Awakened Bluegill. This is also the time of year where really shallow running crankbaits can shine, and this bite can last for me anyway all the way through the fall. You can throw these up tight to the shore or out in the shallow weedy areas. This one is the Spro Fat John 60. You can burn these and it'll stay just a foot or two below the surface. Here's the Lucky Craft Fat BDS3, which will run about 3.5 feet deep, which is another excellent square bill. And this is the Strike King Hybrid Hunter, one of the most versatile crankbaits I've ever used. It comes through grass very well. You can twitch it like a walking bait. You can twitch it like a jerk bait. You can slow roll it. You can burn it. The thing is just a winner. I hope this helps you catch more bass on your next morning outing. If you liked it, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.